Hi, family. Welcome back to my channel. God bless you in Jesus' mighty name. My name is MJ. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all things autism. This resource for the day is for caregivers, and most of my parents know this. This one is based on ABA services. Now, ABA stands for Applied Behavior Analysis, and those are being governed under who they will call a BCPA, right, which is the supervisor. And that one is a board-certified assistant behavior analyst. And then when they come in, they will do like an assessment of the kiddo. They kind of find out the strengths, the weaknesses, what they can do, how they can help it, and create a kind of a plan, an outline of a plan. And then they invite now the RBT, which is a registered behavior technician. And that person will be the one to work more closely with your child and kind of work on whether socialization, increasing communication, how to play appropriately, potty training, bathing, everyday living skills that these our children once in a while kind of lack a little bit and just need a little bit more support. So on that part of autism, I think it's a very good tool, especially if the parent is willing to have someone else come into the home or they can be seen at a clinic. For us, we did both. There was a summer where we primarily spent our time at the clinic so he can have other peers that are going through what he's going through. And of course, with each of their differences, it balanced out somehow. Like if there was one that had a difficult time in socializing, and then there was another one that would have a hard time speaking and communication, I think they sort of worked each other and they kind of understood each other and they found a way to play with each other. So the process for the home, of course, the home, you don't go anywhere, they come to you, which is great. And for Jason, initially, when he started this at age 2.5, we were receiving ABA maybe 2-3 times a week. And as he got older, we moved up to maybe 4 days a week, maybe 2 in the clinic, 2 at home. And then it got to a point where he was getting it almost 6 days a week. And it'll be like 2 hours in the evening after school, some hours on the weekends. But it's truly a great resource for our kids. I think, especially with the bathing part, like the one that I love of my RBT, she'll actually get in the tub and actually be like, let's scrub, because it was in the evening and it wastes time for eating and bedtime, so it was a great transition. So, they'll be like, oh, let's, scrub them and name out the body part. So then they'll go in, oh, my head, or I'm washing my underarm, or I'm washing my feet, kind of get them to know the body parts, the importance of scrubbing them. So ABA, great tool, great tool. Most of my families thankfully are already in ABA. Sometimes you tend to move around if you don't like the RBT because you spend more time with the RBT than you do with the BCPA. So my resource for the day, which as I said, I will also link in the description. This one comes from UC Davis Mind Institute. So that one offers free online parent modules that parents can learn from. Because one thing that is so, if you find a great ABA company, is that the BCPA will kind of come in there pretty frequently, just to kind of check in, maybe reevaluate, then train the parent. The important thing is that in my previous videos, I was saying that, one thing that most people don't understand is that they just come give us a service and then they go. But the good thing with ABA is that they also put in that part where they aid the caregivers and they teach them, well, if he does this, do this instead. If he doesn't do this, do that instead. So their resource, they are such a good resource for parents also. But now, if you don't often get a BCPA that come to your home frequently, then I would advise that you log onto this website. I will link it in the description, like I said, and it's a very good tool to continue to kind of re-teach yourself as the caregiver how to manage behaviors that are hard for the child. Because at times, one thing that Jason will do is he's trying to tell you something, but he cannot fully say it. So then you see this frustration. So the goal is that don't go into that his frustration, right? And find a way to better manage it, better how to cope with it, and how to adjust so that it doesn't become a full outburst. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So they come in, they give us this little behavior strategies and coping mechanism that really help us every day. One thing that I also love was that when we were in our previous school, they allowed the ABA to come into Jason's class and they did some teaching on what he needs most, whether it's the sensory, how to know when something is about to go off. And I think that truly helped the one-on-one. It really helped the teachers in there, even taught the principals, because most of them had never heard of ABA. So it's still, though we keep saying autism has been around for years and years and years, a lot of people don't know like the resources out there that parents are getting outside of the school. So I encourage all families seek ABA, and of course to get ABA, your child has to be on the spectrum. It cannot be ADHD or anxiety or depression. It has to be specifically an autism diagnosis. So be encouraged, family. I will link that in the description like I've already said twice. And just check it out. I think it's a very, 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 very good resource for all of us to use. And until then, remain blessed, be encouraged. And once again, Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever. Just trust in his words, stand on his promises, and will continue to be strengthened by his grace and his grace alone. God bless your family. Amen.